Hello and welcome to another episode of the Plus 63 HP podcast. I'm one of your hosts, John Clemente. Alongside with me are two of my bestest best friend. I'm going to start with a person directly below me, CHUBAX. How are you doing? Hello.
What's up? I'm CHUBAX, exhausted but here. And my god, Andor shit.
Yeah,
Okay.
I cannot wait. Below him is our other bestest best friend, all the way from the West Coast at an ungodly hour. Arnie, how you doing?
Hello there.
Hello. Oh, B2 emo.
Yeah.
And if this is your first time hopping on our channel, thank you very much for the view. We really, really appreciate it. If you have not known yet, the Plus 63 HP podcast is a stable of different cool shows, including this one, our reviews show, where we deep dive into a TV series or a movie, provide our opinions, rate them, and hopefully give you information whether you should watch it yourself or with your friends and with your family. We also have a D&D show. We recorded our very first D&D campaign. We put it on YouTube and on podcasting services all around the globe for your entertainment. That drops on Wednesdays. On Thursdays, we have a curated list of trailers, featurettes, clips, short videos, and whatnot. We react to them and see which content that is coming down the pipe should we be hyped on. So hopefully you join us and be hyped with us as well. And on Fridays, because CHUBAX and our other bestest best friend RJ cannot get enough of D&D, they spun off another one, another campaign of theirs where they play as bad guys. Those episodes drop every Friday. So 4 or 5 times a week, every single day of the week, you'll have new content discussing stuff about cool content. So hopefully join us, help us grow this community of like-minded individuals like just enjoying good things with their friends and their family. Housekeeping done with that. I also cannot wait. The past couple of weeks, we have been discussing the amazing Disney Plus Star Wars IP, the first season of Andor. We have finally arrived at the culmination of season one, episodes 11 and 12, entitled Daughters of Ferrix and Rex Road. Before we dive into the actual synopsis, let's do a very quick spoiler free review on what we feel about the last few episodes and Andor in general. We'll start with our resident Star Wars head, Arnie. What do you think?
The last two episodes pretty much is the payoff for the whole series. I mean the whole season. So did not know I needed an Endor prequel, and yeah,
Mhm.
pleasantly surprised. Love it.
Shabak?
Yeah, I hate prequels, but man, fight the Empire! God fucking ah, what a good shit. Yeah.
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 I tweeted this out as soon as I finished episode 12, but I think Andor is the best Star Wars IP content in the past decades, and I think it'll be the best Star Wars content IP in the next decade. That's how much I love this show. It's just
Mm-hmm.
the most Star Warsy of Star Wars without being too Star Warsy, without
Yeah.
even having a single Jedi in 12 episodes
Well, that we
on
know of.
lightsabers that we know of. Okay. Or even I'm sure there's one like Easter egg somewhere there, but in the end, it's
Yeah.
like it's not there.
Yeah.
We're not in anything, but amazing casting, amazing acting, amazing story, amazing visuals. I wish I can scrub my brain and rewatch the entire season again
Mm-hmm.
in one sitting because it's that amazing. All right. With that, let's jump right into the 2 episode synopsis by our main man Arnie, and then we'll jump into the discussion of Andor. Take it away, Arnie.
All right, let's just hit the main points. Episode 11, we found out that Mama Andor, or Marva, passed away because she's getting older and she's not doing really well. And here we get treated to, we don't even see her body. It's just that the daughters of Ferrix are just taking care of her remains. and we get treated to the one of the best acting by a droid.
Oh my
Um,
God.
B2.
Be too evil.
Like, I want to see Marva. Like, you could stay. It's basically like a child or a pet
Very.
whose whose parent or owner or human uh, passes away. So I mean, some would say clingy, but it's a natural reaction. I mean, but yeah, I shed a tear or two for B2 over there. um, and then I think Brazo told him that, but the daughters need you for something really
Mm.
important, which we found out in the episode 12 what that was. Um, basically, and then uh, so because of that event, it all like everybody involved in the Cassian Andor manhunt gets informed that the mom died, so he's probably going to be in the funeral. So Deidre, the ISB supervisor, said, "Okay, let's give them the funeral so that when Andor shows up, we could arrest him." Um, Val, Cinta, and Luthen found out about the death of Marva. So like, well, he's gonna be there, so we could kill him. And then of course Cassian when he finally got out. So him and Melsh, I think it's Melsh, right? So we found out that they 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 got out and they tried to hijack a dropship.
Even
That's
before
fun.
that, dude, that scene on the cliff, like,
Oh yeah,
Yeah, the opening scene of them
oh my
hanging
god,
on.
they just,
they're leaving. Like don't joke, don't.
and
I
just
can't move my arm.
like,
I can't move my arm.
tell me they're
10 meters.
leaving, just lie to me, like,
Oh,
Just let him.
amazing.
Yeah, it just does just the tension, and the thing is too, like, so again, so they tried to steal the drop ship. I mean, some people say that it wasn't as clear, but for me, I got the nuance of it. That yeah, initially they were like, well, maybe we should sell you back to the Empire, but you know what? F the Empire. So
Mm.
let's where do you want to go?
that was funny.
So
So like, what?
that was funny.
I again,
I guess
it's
people just had the hard time reading subtitles and body language. Because the thing is, if they really are capturing those two prisoners to be sold to the Empire or whatever, they would have been more aggressive when it comes to capturing them, right? But they just trapped them and then like, oh, you tried to steal our ship, but it's okay,
yeah. It's one of
Uh,
for me. That's one of those things where like, wow. I mean, the Deus ex machina, but that
yeah,
just supports how many systems do not like the Empire.
exactly,
So,
exactly, and plus it's nice to see some aliens. One of the main criticisms of Andor is not a lot of aliens, but we could talk about that later. It's because the Empire is racist. They just want to use humans. There are not a lot of aliens in the Empire, to be quite honest. There's no other. All the
That is
stormtroopers
true.
are
That is true. Even
human,
the
mm.
right?
ISB.
ISB, there's no. They're all humans, right? But anyways, so they got dropped off to Space Miami or Niami, so that he could get his money back. Uh, it's concerning that that hotel room was not cleaned properly because it was still there after what 6 months. So, but I'm fine with it. I'm fine with it. So Andor calls Ferrex, and he finds out that his mom died. So so that became a catalyst for episode 12,
I was torn
and
also. Like,
yeah,
was it stupid that that guy told Cashin? But then again, if he was your
He knew
bro,
how important
if he
yeah,
was your bro,
Cassie.
you would
Oh,
have told him.
yeah.
yeah. And the thing
But
is, you would
the
still want
entire
to
thing
know.
too is like the entire episode was for me how amazing world building could be because they were using the funeral as a trap for Andor, but
Mhm.
also you had to make sure that that funeral is extremely important to
Yeah,
that culture,
yeah.
right? Like it's like what do they do? Like they burn them, put them into a brick, and then what do? They put you into you become part of the wall, right? So
Which
yeah, I mean
I
for that, it's that the reason why Andor, no matter how the reason why, no matter how stupid it was, like the dude saying how, like, how sad is that? And Brasso is the one that's going to be putting him in the wall. Like, it's like
Yeah,
we don't understand it, but it's like you realize like how important it is.
yeah, yeah. And the thing is, like, I always wanted to be turned into a tree, but now you could turn me into a brick and put me in a wall. But yeah, so yeah, and then of course we also get more Saw Gerrera. He changed his mind. He wanted to, yeah,
Help.
I'll join Krieger. But as we know from episode 10, Luthen's like, no, I don't think it's a good idea to do that now. And wow, this is why Saw Gerrera was so paranoid in Rogue One because Luthen was just effing with his mind. Yeah, my inside guy's
Another amazing scene.
my inside guy's tubes and tubes like,
He
what
made
the heck?
sense in the end, though. He even got
It
Saw.
made sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so yeah, so the only sad part about episode 11 is we never found out if Kino Roy got out. Uh, there were hints online with the director and I'm forgetting the actor's name, Andy Serkis, but until we see him on screen, or at least in as a mention that he survived. As far as we know, only two got out, so we'll know. We'll find out maybe in season 2, hopefully. Jumping into episode 12, so this is where basically is like, this is how you do a finale.
Okay.
Marvel, and even other Star Wars shows, man. It has the key and the trademark set piece action scenes,
I think
but man,
the last finale that blew us away was Mando, season 2,
and in
with
season
with
2
Luke.
with Luke, uh so yeah, some would argue Kenobi with
Loki,
versus
yeah,
Vader.
also, but
Yeah,
we had
but the
issues with
build,
that. It wasn't
yeah, but
perfect though.
yeah, but the build up for the episode. I mean, this one is just the funeral, and then of course, Cass
I
was
mean,
able to
even
sneak in.
Isabella just watched like the first three and like smatterings of the rest, but she watched the last two episodes with me. Like, even Brasso, she's like, I hope he
Yeah.
doesn't. He loves Brasso. Like, how can you make me
Every
love that guy? He's only been in like less than 5 minutes scene in the past 12 episodes. Like, I don't want him to die.
Hmm.
And I know him. I know
Exactly.
his character by heart. Like, he's like one of us. Like, if we were working there, we'd be brothers with him. We'd be buddies with him. Like,
Yeah. And
it's
even like just with B2. I mean, like the emotional roller coaster of that droid. I mean, like, because as we know, Star Wars, they make up new droids so that they could sell more merchandise. But this one, I will willingly buy this droid because it's just an amazing character. But yeah, I mean, um basically, Cinta, Val, and even Luthen came in there. Deidre went in person. So everybody's just really trying to catch Cassian here. Um, and then the funeral is basically kind of like a New Orleans. There's a parade, and then the hologram of Marva. Which again, this show is full of monologues that are just like, mm, perfect. Uh, I mean, she's like, if I could do it all over again, I will wake up earlier and fight these bastards. And they're like, oh, hey, here we go. And then, yeah, I mean,
and
it was
then like
just,
everything, that scene was perfect. Like, even the reaction of that stormtrooper or that Empire captain, like,
yeah,
enough, and then he covers it, and then it's not enough, and then
yeah.
he kicks
He,
the droid, which
the droid.
starts the violence, but
and then he got hit
like
by a brick.
He didn't even cover the fucking.
properly.
He
But it was like,
And then he,
didn't cover the hologram completely, so the last few words were still out.
yeah,
but looking at
and
it
the
at
thing is,
hindsight, it was obvious that once he kicked that droid, it was gonna start the violence. But then at that moment, like, he just fed up with it. Like fucking no, fuck.
And then Brazo uses Marva's brick to beat the Empire. I mean, seriously, that's like, and then of course,
Marva was able to put her stamp still, even after
exactly.
that.
And the thing
And
is, I
the
mean,
reaction of Luthen just watching
yeah, he's like
this
shocked, and then like, oh,
like
this is what I wanted.
we don't even know if it's like mixed. Like he's like, is this what I wanted? Or there's like
Yeah.
questioning in his face too. Like Skarsgård.
Yeah, and the thing is like for him, maybe like, oh, I wish we had Marva when she was younger, and they would have been progressed our rebellion faster. And also when during the Cassian scenes, like we are hearing the manifest by Nemec, and even that manifest, like what they shared with us, like every rebellion pushes our line forward. Remember this, try. Like, wow. I mean, so it's really like it is a manifesto. And then of course Cyril Karn was there too. He was trying to meet up with Deidre. I mean, just watch it. I mean,
It's
I can't do it justice. This
even
just
just the fact that in a lesser showrunner or director or writer, you know how they set this up where everybody um they know Kashan's coming, so they set the Empire has a plan.
yeah, yeah,
Luthen has a plan
Luthen.
with Val and Cinta, and
Yeah.
you know how it's gonna end. It's like there's gonna be a big confrontation between Kashan, what's the ISB the
Deidre.
female
Mar
Deidre,
Deidre.
and Luthen. They're all gonna face to
Luthen.
face. None of that
Hmm.
happened. Kashan was able to go in and out because it was chaos, right?
Yeah,
Val and
yeah,
Cinta didn't even see Kashan at all.
yeah.
Like
Plus the thing is, because he's a local, so unlike in Miami, he's not a tourist, so he knew that the
yeah,
tunnels, and because Marva mentioned that, yeah, Marva was checking the tunnels if it was still clear, because when the rebel comes in, and like, yep, because the rebel came
and,
in and was
it all
repaired.
made sense. Like Cinta and Val didn't even see Kashan, Luthen,
Yeah,
nor did Luthen. There was no big
yeah,
confrontation between ISB and Kashan or Lucian. Like
yeah,
Luthen, it's so good. Like
yeah, yeah. And the thing is like, so yeah, so when they got out, I mean, we thought that they're not even gonna see Cassian, the Ferrex people. And then of course the Cassian showed up and gave them Bix and taught them, okay, don't fly too high, just fly low and then climb. And then I'll see you again. And then of course he meets up with Luthen and told him, either kill me or take me in. And
Thank you.
that smile, man. Like, okay, I got him. I got an asset now.
Yes, yeah.
what
And then
game are
of
you
course,
playing? Fuck.
there's also the Mon Mothma storyline, like that whole, hey husband, you're gambling again. It's like, oh, why is
She
why is she
masterful stroke.
that's like, why is she picking a fight? Because she was dismissive of him the first few episodes, and then like, oh, because the driver's listening. Something like, oh, so they were
And she
laundering
knew
money.
that the driver
Was listening.
was no, she knew that the driver was already an informant.
Yeah.
So she
That's
set him up.
just
So ISB's like, well, it does make sense because she took out a withdrawal. So yeah, the husband's probably gambling again. And like, ah,
Yeah,
you
so smart.
idiots. And then of course, they had a meet cute between her daughter and
Is that a meet cute
the
or like
the,
selling
the
your
thug
daughter?
son. Well, the thing is, the daughter's not really nice to the mom. So,
That is true.
but yeah, I mean, season two. I mean, they're in production right now or pre-production. I can't wait. And then I think Diego Luna said it will lead to Rogue One. So maybe speculation, like maybe the last few episodes will be finding out the location or the mission, the Galen Erso mission. So maybe something like
Is it
that.
only 2 seasons? I forgot.
I
two
think it's only
seasons.
2 seasons,
Two
yeah.
seasons. Yep.
But it's 12 episodes the next one.
Yeah.
Because if we remember, Rogue One ended with the whole they got the Death Star plans, gave it to Leia, and then they jumped into New Hope, right?
Mm.
So I think they'll probably do the same theme, but can't wait for K2SO to show up. Seeing Melshi again, and then maybe finding out how Cassian became Captain Andor or something, or more missions, more rebel missions. So we could at least have at least 4 story arcs in 12 episodes. So that's really good. And again, watch it. I can't do it justice with describing it. And the end credit scene, we finally found out what they were building. It's for the solar array or the laser, the mirror for the Death
Exactly. It's
Star.
like it's a Death Star component. So
So
what are they
yeah.
needing that many of those little things? So like, all
So
right.
so Cassian unwittingly helped build the weapon that will kill him.
Well, it's not like no, it's not unwittingly. He was forced. He was in prison. It's not like
Yeah, yeah,
it's not like he was tricked into it.
yeah. But in a way, he is kind of connected to Galen Erso already, because Galen was the one who kind of spearheaded the, not spearheaded, but he's one of the main researchers, the main scientist for the Death Star. And season 2, let's hope we get Ben Mendelsohn, Krennic, because it's about the Death Star now, because they showed the Death Star. So would like to see more Krennic and Mira, Deidre probably, right? So we'll see.
I'm
We'll see.
really
We'll see.
interested in how what Karn's role is.
I
Is he
think
just a stalker?
because he saved her,
No, no,
so
but I
he's probably gonna
mean,
be.
I want to know his place in the overall story.
Well, for me, I'll just jump into the discussion. But I think Karn is one of those, because they showed like those 2 aliens. They just hate the Empire, right? Or Ferrex.
Mm.
They just. But they also wanted to show maybe some citizens like, yep, we want to be the Empire. We long live the Empire or something like that. So he's one of those, not to be political, like the loyalists, basically, right? Or somebody who's just your your stereotypical, I'm with the big, you know big power or something like that. So yeah, he's one of those. He took his job too seriously, but some cases you need people like that. So yeah, I mean, I'm just glad that they didn't kiss, because I was like, eh, eh. But still, but
Well, I
yeah, I
think
mean,
yeah. I like the idea that both of or like every side, every character
yeah,
has equal amount of reason why they're doing what they're doing.
yeah,
Right.
the
It's like
motivations are there. Yeah,
every from Marva all the way down to fucking Brasso. Like every single character has conviction about the things that they wanted to do. The ISB person.
I mean,
Um
they even made even made me empathize with ISB for a while. Like,
yeah,
I mean, sitting there in their desk, like these are rebels. I'm protecting my country or
they're just
my.
doing their job. And I love the
But
fact,
no, but then when they go down, you see why they're assholes. They
yeah,
torture, they don't protect culture, they don't care. So like,
yeah. And but again,
it,
they're
and
being
it's.
told to make this giant thing, and then the way that those giant thing is being done is yeah. I was watching this, and again I was also watching 1899, and the only thing that made me think that how these two amazing series kind of work together is this is how the best things in human history are done through oppression and slavery. Like this is
mhm,
how the pyramids are built. What you think that everybody was like happy just doing what these monumental structures that will last millennia? No, it's like everybody was told the job and they're doing the best that they can. But the thing that I made me happy, or the thing that made this such a wonderful series is like you're not making anybody stupid here. Like
mhm,
even the ISB, there was even within their, I'm gonna call like the lieutenant group, right?
Yeah.
even there was squabbling behind them. Like usually, if it was any other lesser series, everybody, all of them will be like these bumbling idiots, and then there's one that is gonna carry everybody. Like no, like
Mhm.
everybody was smart, everybody was strategic, everybody had knew what to do, and then the counter. Counter what the rebels are doing. The rebels will counter what ISB is doing. It's like it's a great dance to the
Yeah.
point that Saw Gerrera and Luthen sacrificed a clear battalion of people
Mhm.
to save one informant.
Yep.
Right. That's how high level this fight is. Like the stakes are so high because everybody's so good. No,
Mhm.
none of these is like it's not that the Empire was too powerful and then they're throttling everything under turn. No, it's like both sides were equally scary.
Yeah.
They both have dark and light sides that
Mhm.
um that it's just like you need to be really really good to escape, even to the point where what's the name of the black dude that ratted out where Cassian was
Um,
His
I didn't
friend.
get the name, but he was the guy in episode one who was like asking him for money, and
from
then
yeah,
it,
so
it yeah,
like even when he ratted Cassian out, he was right.
yep,
Cassian was just a little bit more quicker, right?
yeah,
Like he was in the building, like he knew what was gonna happen. He anticipated it, but Cassian was like, "Oh shit!" Like
Step
he
ahead.
he was reading the tea leaves. So every single every single character here, none of them is a dum dum. None of them was a throwaway. None of them was just like a pawn in every. Well, everybody's a pawn, but
yeah.
none of them was just like a character that is for filler. Every person that they put on screen to the boy that was making that singular bomb,
Hmm.
every single one of them was important. That's why for me, like this show
And
was
just
masterful.
realistic. Like
Hmm.
in another lesser show, like we'd have a big action sequence with Cashan and Bix, but no, Bix was
Yeah.
just fucking broken. Like
Nope.
she
Yep.
was fucked up, and which is what
Yep.
would happen if you were tortured for days and days and like
Yep. Yeah. And,
Yeah.
and the thing is, like you mentioned the kid. It's kind of like what happened with Luke, right? Like, it's how you radicalize somebody. Like you
Hmm.
you know you kill their parents or father figure or parental units, and they have nothing else to lose, and then so that's how you radicalize it. And that's right. Luthen was right. Oppression breeds rebellion, and that's what happened. And he saw it. It saw it in practice. I mean, he might not have the whole context of it because he's not really from there, but just looking at the speech that Marva did and then how the people reacted. So he knew that, because of the Aldani's incident and Morlana, the first one, the first case that Karn was investigating, there was rebellion.
Yeah.
There's seeds of rebellion everywhere. So it gave him hope, and that's why maybe when Cassian finally said, "Just take me in," and he's like, "Okay, we're good. We're doing this." So
and
yeah,
also I just realizing now I like all the flavors of rebels here. They're not
yeah,
all the same. We
Yeah.
got
Oh, yeah.
we
Great
got
point.
Cinta who's just out for blind fucking kill whoever I can fucking kill. Right?
yeah,
Luthen is always like smart, sacrifice anything. We even have a rich brat or not brat, but a rich kid
yeah.
who's playing not playing rebel, but she has her reasons I'm sure, but I mean, she is wealthy. Like she's the
Mm.
sister, right, of Monwatha or
Cousin.
sister,
Cousin.
cousin.
Yeah. And Mon
And
Mothma.
yeah,
I
so it's
mean,
like,
she's she
yeah,
she has everything to lose.
No,
But
you know what? So we could spend so many weeks discussing this because even just the Mon Mothma character, how weird is that? She is risking everything to fuel a rebellion, to rid of the galaxy of this oppression, free people, when her daughter herself was the one who was, not necessarily brainwashed. She chose to be under a religious semi-fanatic, like for lack of a better term,
cult.
fanaticized version of of religion.
Yep.
That's when I was watching that. That's mind blowing.
Yeah.
Like that's imagine that. Like you're one of the pillars of the rebellion for freedom of not only action but thought and speech, and then your daughter picked something that's what she picked. You know,
Yep.
she wanted to be religious. Go ahead. So I was like,
Yeah.
this is part of what freedom is. You know,
Yeah.
it is so, and it was her idea, and that's
Mhm.
where I was looking at. It's like, God, this show is so
Yeah.
wonderful. Like what you mentioned, Arnie, about the in the start of episode 12, we see a boy making the bomb that was to
Mhm.
be thrown at the garrison during the thing. But usually we look at those images, and that doesn't connote a very good imagery what we have right now, right?
Mhm.
There's a
Mhm.
brown boy making a bomb,
Mhm.
in level. So, but even those thoughts was like, it was very delicately
Mhm.
made, not to stereotype, not to whatever, but the
Yeah.
idea of it is, this is this is what happens with oppression. You
Yeah.
have kids making bombs and
Remembered also,
killing others.
even Mavra's last message to Kashan from Brasso, like, it's
Mm.
not your fault. This has been going on. You may be
Yeah.
the. I was
I
It's
love
just
you
a
something.
more
spark.
than the thing.
No,
I
something
love you
like
more
you
than the
might be
things
the
you could do
spark,
wrong or
but
something.
it's been there for a
The
long
fire has been
time.
Yeah.
raging for a long
Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
Plus,
Oh,
like the whole, I love you more than things that you will do wrong. Like, oh man, that's like that's some parental advice there.
yeah,
That's what
everything.
exactly what everybody wants to hear, right? Like,
Every imagery, the start of episode 11 when they were hanging on to the side of the cliff, right? That was it. It's just like, it started, it was the image, they're just hanging on. They're just hanging on, and they're just lying to each other, right? That's what I love. And then sometimes, again, I saw episode 11 like two and a half times because I wrote this down. That's the strongest start of an episode because it's just the two of them. They survive, but they might die. They don't know what they're doing. They're still prisoners. And then they're just lying to each other. And then the other guy finally at the end just say like,
just let it be.
tell me they're no longer there. Right?
Or
So
there
you want it, you
believe him.
want to be lied to
Yeah.
just so that you could
Yeah,
survive. It's
and
like,
even like even at the end of episode 11, like well, Mel, she said like the people need to know what happened to us in those prison.
oh yeah.
I mean,
You
just
have to
like the
split up.
whole
Oh yeah.
they had to split up, but we have to tell people, and you could it kind of explains why both of them ended up in the rebellion because they need people to know what happened to them
Mhm.
in the prison, and that's why like I'm really invested with Kino Loy surviving. I mean, they could have a show on Kino Loy if they wanted to, but man, like these new characters, and again, the only ones we know that are in Rogue One, like Cassian, Melshi, Mon Mothma, and Saw Gerrera. We don't even know if Luthen makes it, but
I don't think he
I'm
I,
is.
sure Luthen
I'm
will
sure
be
he's
like
not.
in the
I,
back.
I
Yeah.
just want to be, I just want to be
I
shown
mean,
like what
I think he's
you
gonna
know.
die, obviously, but I would be
I hope he
really
doesn't.
happy if he doesn't. Yeah.
Yeah, I hope he
Yeah,
doesn't. This is such a
yeah.
wonderful show. I mean, oh,
No.
uh,
This is a good prequel because the thing is, yeah, yes, the main characters are involved in the main storyline, but there are characters that we know or we don't know if they're even part of the original trilogy. We don't know what they could have different shows. They could have a big show. I mean, seriously, if they wanted to, if the story was right, they could make more, and it's not even going to ruin the main storyline.
mhm.
And yeah, I mean, just like with our bias against prequels, this is how you make a prequel. Yes, you could still tie it to the main storyline, but you could have enough roots of a new of characters that you could create more stories because it's a big galaxy. It's a big story. They could make more if they want to. Heck,
Again,
I don't want a Deidre and Karn story. I mean, not a main show, but just like a short, like
we
them
discussed
working.
this the previous discussion of the show. You could change the IP and the story would still work. Like it
Yes.
couldn't it could be Civil War America, it could be French Revolution, it
I
could be
mean,
prehistoric times.
Cassian Andor could have been Jason Bourne, and it would still work.
Everything. This could be the Katipuneros and with the
Mhm.
Spanish colonialization, but it would still work because again, this is what Star Wars has been lacking for a very, very long time. Just fucking do a good story.
Yeah,
It's just a good story. It's
and they didn't even rely on cameos. There's not a lot of fan service. The fan service happened in Luthen's shop. Like, there's holocrons there. There's like a Star
mm.
Killer's armor. But man, like
The fucking end credit scene on episode 12, sure. Whatever.
sure,
They're
but
making the Death Star, but come on, sure. They could make another cannon. It doesn't really
yeah,
matter. But
yeah,
it's wonder. Oh my gosh. Like I love Mon. Um I is it weird that I still found Bix extremely hot while she was crazy?
No, you're not. I
yeah,
feel
no,
you.
I love the
Bix,
idea that they never made us hear what she was hearing.
yeah.
Right?
For all we know,
They were just showing the speakers.
for
It's
all we
much
know,
more
it could
uh
have been
um
Baby Shark on repeat.
yeah,
For all we
it's great like because it's much more ominous if you just show it and you don't know what's happening, but you see this just like broken person is amazing. Loved
Exactly.
everything about it.
Yeah, and again, B2 emo again. I mean, there's some speculation that his consciousness or his programming will be the one the template for K2SO. I hope not. I hope we have B2 and
Nah,
K2 because it's kind of like the C3PO and R2D2 pairing.
No, I
So
don't think
I
they're doing any fan
yeah,
service like that.
yeah,
yeah.
There's no
exactly.
surprise Jedi's here. There's not gonna be any.
Mm.
Yeah,
This is gonna
exactly. So
spoil things. Eh.
I think
and
they're
the thing
just
is,
they're doing what they need to be doing. It's like that's the one very small nit I have in the series. Everything was done very, very delicately,
mhm,
except for the fucking name of the droid.
B2
B2
emo.
emo was too emo, bro.
Yeah, yeah,
Super
that's true.
emo. But
That's why
it was
I
great.
thought like, it's another one of those throwaway droids. But man, it's one of the best. I mean, for me, aside from Chopper and R2, this B2 emo is like, wow.
It was
Like,
great. I
yeah,
enjoyed
it's great.
this.
Yeah.
Uh, Anything else, boys? Final thoughts, Arnie, about let's start with your box. Final
Yeah.
thoughts about uh the last two episodes and the entire series of Andor before
Um,
we rate and close this out.
yeah, I hate sequels, but man, this shit is amazing. Just put it a 10 on me. There's nothing else I can say.
I'll do the same. Like again, this is I don't give tens a lot, but
Mhm.
I do think this is a masterful piece of cinema. The number of episodes was perfect. People
Uh-huh.
might say it's a little too slow, but I think it's just your mood, right?
Yeah.
Great casting, great ensemble. It is very rare to find a series where every single character just works.
Mhm.
From the what's the name of that fucking sergeant that is with that creepy
Karn?
fanboy,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, you would think you will never see him again, but look, he's there,
It
and
works.
it worked. And their and their
Works.
conversation, like the whole Zoom. Oh, it's delayed and the signal's not good. Even that worked.
Have so again the showrunners, the writers uh did they maximized the Star Wars IP to
Mhm.
the point where it elevates a story even further, which is I think what big IP should do in the future. If
Yeah.
MCU will be doing this in the future, DCEU will be doing this in the future. But the idea of it is like this is how you do it. There's now a template to do a prequel, like it's stacked against everything was stacked against the show. It's a
Mhm.
prequel. The main character fucking dies or everybody fucking
And
dies.
and do we
You know
really
what
need
happened,
Andor?
right? You know you know what they're building. You know
Yeah.
how that thing that they built was destroyed. So all of the story elements there was stacked against Andor. But again, you can find an angle where it none of it matters, where you
Mhm.
just find just the actual backstory and the actual layers that anybody can relate to. And the good thing about us, we learn the
Yeah.
good side of the bad people, the
Yeah.
bad side of the good people, and the struggle
Yeah.
between them, and then the internal struggle of each character. And I think that is just a wonderful lesson for all of us to watch. Arnie, your
Yeah.
rating last thoughts.
And to add, to jump into something that you just mentioned, John, and there's also a discussion about why you guys didn't watch House of the Dragons. It's and Succession or something like. It's not just one percenters having problems, because it could have been like that with Mon Mothma,
Yeah.
right? She's a one percenter and just having problems. But no, even her storyline, even her motivation made sense. So yeah, and like I said, I'm a Star Wars fan here. It's a 10 for me. There's still people complaining about it, and the thing is, you could complain all you want, but if you could write a better story, write it. I challenge you, write it, and I'll watch it. If I like it, I like it. But for me, yeah, it starts slow, but it's well earned. It's well earned, especially this finale. Um, so yeah, I mean, can't wait for season two. Again, I can't do it justice. Like our reviews
Mhm.
is just three dudes talking about Star Wars, but watch it for yourself. Uh, I think it enhances Rogue One, and it also enhances the Rebel Alliance
Yeah.
storyline, and even the Empire too. I mean, like we kind of know, like I'm excited for Thrawn now. If they
Yeah.
could do something like this, yeah,
Yeah. Again, it shows again. I'm actually really happy that the fucking Empire is not like bumbling idiots.
yeah, it's
Right?
stormtroopers actually hit stuff.
They're they're actually really good. Like,
And they're
they're
good.
like they're at least
Well,
they
I do
they
like the this is Ferrex moment there, like the guy banging the bell.
yeah.
That was
Oh
like,
my
wow,
god.
yeah.
See,
For me,
like
that's
even
the
those
fan
simple
service.
things, like that parade with the music. Ooh,
Oh yeah.
ooh. Even
He
the
made that.
music.
He made that Lone Stone Trooper get the guy in the bell. What
Yeah,
do you
like,
think he would be feeling when he got up there? He's gonna be fucking exhausted. It's like,
the
he
thing
didn't
is, they
even
could
put
have
up a
just shot
fight.
him from downstairs,
Oh,
but
he could have just like once he got up, he could have just shot the dude, but no,
yeah.
he
Dude,
has to
no,
go up.
dude, he's exhausted. Would you going up in that armor? He's like, take a breath first. He didn't think that that guy
Or,
would kick him.
or they
You
could
know?
have opened fired at him in the bell, but I guess they know, oh well, our aim is not that good.
Yeah.
I was like, oh my
Yeah,
god.
oh, well, all right. An amazing discussion about an amazing show. We urge everybody to watch it. We're all tens here, deservingly so. I'm very happy that the production of the second season of Andor is underway. So hopefully at
Mhm.
the end of this year or early next year, we should be able to get season two. I am gonna be very sad that it's gonna be the last 12 episodes, but I'm
It's
also
enough.
I think that's perfect. Two
Yeah.
seasons, 24 episodes, that's more than enough to kind of like close this thing out. I have 100% trust in the showrunners of
Tony
Andor too.
Gilroy.
Yeah,
Yep.
they're gonna do a great job. It's gonna be great. Diego Luna, great.
Mm.
All right. With that, thank you very much. Please don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel, youtube.com/plus63hp. Interact with us in any of our socials, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Our handle is at +63hp. And if you don't want to watch our faces and you just want to listen to us, just hop on your favorite podcasting app, Amazon, Spotify, Apple Podcast, fucking Pandora. We're there. Just search +63hp. We have plenty of shows for you to enjoy. Come join us, enjoy with us. And final goodbyes, CHUBAX.
Yeah, can't wait to rewatch it.
Arnie.
Arnie.
Remember this. Try.
Mhm.
Goodbye.
And there's only one way out, which
One way
is
out.
the end of the episode. Well, again, thank you very much and see you in the next episode. Bye.
Fight the Empire.